Hello everyone. Today is day 8 of our 30 days of zippers. We're almost a third of the way done, which is crazy. It seems to be going by really fast. Yesterday we made this adorable little reading pillow, which we had some missteps, but we got it finished. I had to finish it after the fact, but it's done. This is what it looked like. I've put the link for all the blog post with all 7 days in the description of this post. So you can click on that to see the first 7 days, and then I'm going to be making a new post for the next 7 days that will get up shortly after this video. So I'm going to do my shares really quick while everybody hops on, and then we will get started. I'm excited for today. Today we're going to be working on, we're going to do a curved zipper, which was kind of a request that someone had. They had a request for something a little bit different, but once you know how to do the curve, you'll be able to incorporate it into your own. You can do all of these on your own in a different ways once you know how to do the curve. So if you're not watching live, you can skip ahead a little bit down below, but if you are live, we're just waiting a few minutes for everybody to get hopped on. I'm just sharing this video so everyone can find us, and yeah, then we'll get started. I'm excited today. I'm working with some fabric from Karina Gardner. She is super sweet, and I got to, if you've been over on the blog in the past couple of days, I got to go and work in her studio with her. Good morning, Elaine. And we did a tutorial for a really fun Halloween quilt block. So that's over on the blog, and we're working with some of her fabrics today because I got to raid her fabric stash when I was there. So these are a little bit older fabrics. They're just in my stash. So you might be able to find them on Etsy. I'll look on Etsy after this and put the links in the blog post. So okay, I am all shared up here, and let me just get rid of this, and then we'll be ready to start. So today, we're going back to our zipper pouches. We're going to work with a curved zipper, which I've already mentioned, but now that you're here, good morning, Donna. Thanks. I love doing videos with you guys, so thanks for being here. I'm glad I'm not by myself every morning. It's nice to have you guys every day. So we're going back to our original dimensions. I'm going to use the same dimensions as much as possible so that it's not confusing. So I'm using 8.5-inch squares. And I've actually got 5 of them today. I'll show you why. I've got 2 of the outside lining and 2 of the inside. And then what we'll do to get started is we want to create, first we're going to create the curve on the fabric, and then we'll work with the zipper. So what I've done is I've already traced a curve onto these ones and cut it out. I used my circle cutter to just trace it. I like to use my circle cutter to trace it and then cut it with the scissors, because I really like, I don't know, something about actually cutting with scissors is fun. Maybe it's the schoolgirl in me, I'm not sure. So you're just going to cut, and you'll do all 4, the lining and the outside, the same. So that'll give us, this is what that looks like. And I've also already put my fleece onto the back of the outside piece. So I've got the 2 outside pieces with the fleece on the back. I've got the 2 inside pieces with nothing on the back. They all have the same curve, you can see, just like that. And then I thought today we would do something fun and add a piece in the middle, kind of like a divider inside the pouch. So what I've done is, this is also an 8.5-inch square. And all I've done is cut half of that out of fleece and ironed it onto that half. And then the only other thing we're going to do with this is just fold it over, and it'll look like this. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Yeah, these are the Karina Gardner fabrics that I got to pick from her studio when I was there filming a YouTube video with her. So I'll throw the link for that post in the comments if you guys want to see how pretty her studio is. Or you can find, if you look for Karina Gardner on Facebook or on also on YouTube, but what I'm trying to say is Instagram. She put up a really fun bloopers video of when we filmed our tutorial. So this piece is just going to go in the middle, kind of like, so when you open the pouch, there'll be two sides to it. No reason other than it's fun and just teaching a different technique, a different thing to do. It would be perfect for like a cosmetics bag. Good morning, Joyce. You could put, you know, your brushes on this side and your makeup on this side or whatever. I mean, there's so many options, but I just wanted to show you, you could put a bunch of these in and have lots of dividers. I just want to show you how to do it. So that's the fabric portion. Remember, those are all 8.5-inch squares. This one's folded over and the other ones just have a curve. You can use a paper plate to trace a curve or a big bowl. I like this amount of curve. I didn't want it to be too sharp. I liked the kind of soft curve. So, but that's all personal preference. Once you know the technique, you'll be able to choose whatever you want to do. So then we've got our zipper. This zipper happened to be the right size, so I didn't have to shorten it or anything, which is nice. I have 100 zippers that I ordered in bulk from Etsy, so I'm just kind of, some of them I have to cut down and some of them are the right size. That's why it's a different size and color every day, because I just ordered them in bulk because it was way cheaper. It was $10 for 100 zippers rather than a couple bucks for one. So, but I didn't get to choose color or size. So that's why there's a different color and shape and size every day. So to get the zipper prepared, we're ready. I'm going to start now, I promise. So to get the zipper prepared, you're going to grab your scissors, and I'm going to try and do this as close to you as possible. And you're just going to, you know, every, what is this, 1/8 quarter of an inch, you're just going to snip in a little bit on both sides. I was going to get this ready and then I got distracted, but this is all right. So I've already put the tabs on both sides of the zipper. We'll still do the tabs even though it's curved. So that's one side. See how we've done that? That really allows it to curve more when we're ready to make it curve. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Try not to get, you don't want to get too close to the zipper because then there'll be nothing for the sewing machine to bite into and hold on to, and it'll just kind of unravel. If you get too close a few times, that's all right. Okay, so we've got our zipper. Our zipper is ready now. We've notched it, made it a little fringed. Now we're ready to start attaching it. So what we're going to do is we'll just start the same way we always do with the outside, the first outside piece. I think the light is better today because I'm wearing not such a dark shirt. I think the black, hi Pat, I think the black shirt was really messing with the lighting yesterday. So what we're going to do is you're going to find the middle. You can find the middle of your fabric by just kind of folding it in half, and now we know it's here. And then find the middle of your zipper by folding it in half. And now we know it's here. So we'll start there, start in the middle so that the zipper falls evenly. I hope that you're going to stay dry, Pat, that you're going to stay safe down there in Florida, everybody. I hope everybody that wanted to get out has been able to get out. And then, so we're just going to clip it on like this. This is another time when these clips are glorious, and more is better because it will kind of move around on you once we get sewing. So maybe overkill, but I like it. Okay, so we've got this. We've got it clipped on. You can see how it's curving. We've still got the pull here in the middle, the same as we've been doing. And so then we're ready to just get started sewing. Hi, Dawn. Okay, let's see. Come on. So now we're ready to come here to our sewing machine. Remember, our needle is on the left, the foot is on the right. There, you can totally do it opposite, but this is the way that I like to do it. There's always other ways to do things than what I'm doing, but I'm just showing you the way I like and the way I've learned and have gotten used to doing things. So you can totally find a different way if it suits you. Hi, Heidi. Okay, so we've got it. Now we're just gonna start sewing. so, as you know, as close to the zipper as you can get, and it'll just kind of, you just want to kind of turn it as you go. Then now that we're mostly there, I'm gonna just move my zipper out of the way and keep going. Vicki, yes, to get my curve, let me show you what I've done. You can use, there's so many things you could use. You could use a bowl, you could use a paper plate. What I've used is my circle cutter here, if you can see, and I just traced from here to here, and then I actually cut it with scissors. This has a blade, you could totally cut it with this, but I just prefer my scissors. I don't know why. So that's how we got the circle, the curve that we've got. So now here is what it looks like with this all in place. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our first side of the lining. And it's gonna be exactly the same as we always do. Let me show you. The same as we always do. So we've got our outside piece is facing up, the zipper is facing down, our lining goes face down. Hi Marcia. The lining goes face down on top of the zipper. And then we're gonna clip that in place, just like we've did before with, let's see, I'm gonna put my pole in the middle, because that's how I like it. We're gonna clip it in place. Oops, I was doing them backwards. Okay, so we've got it clipped in place. And then you'll remember we're gonna turn it over and use this seam that we've already done to sew this one in place. Okay, so we're ready to do that. It's another great reason to have these these extra fabric tabs down here and not trim them yet, is it's a great place to start. So you have somewhere to get a good stitch going. Move my pole out of the way, if I can find it. Here it is. Okay. Okay, now there's one extra step. Susan, please stay safe. You can watch it later. I'll have a blog post on this later. She wanted to watch, but she's got to get ready for the hurricane. So yes, so stay safe and check in with me afterwards. I want to make sure you're all right. Okay, so the next step, we've got it sewn on. We've sewn our lining and our front piece on. Now, the one step that we haven't done that we want to do when we do the curve is we're going to go, now we want to go in and notch our fabric. Let me see if I can, I mean, it doesn't have to be a ton. Hold on, my scissors don't want to do all these layers. But I'm just going to do some triangular notches. It doesn't even have to go all the way through. Just, let me show you on, can you see on the back better? Just kind of see how we're just notching it a little bit. That'll let the fabric just turn a little bit more. So I'm going to just do some of those every few, every inch on this curve. You don't want to cut your seam, but you can cut fairly close to it. Here's a good one. You can see how I've done right there. See, we didn't go all the way up to it, but we've got a good, see how it makes the fabric more flexible? That's what we want when we're going to turn this out. So like I said, you don't have to go all the way through. It doesn't have to, the corners don't have to connect. This is just making the fabric a little bit more flexible. So we're going to go ahead and do that along the entire edge. the curved edge, sorry. And that's, there we go. Can you see how I did it here. I just they didn't come all the way off, which is fine. Like I said, it doesn't really matter that they come off. If you're worried about it, you can do them until they're off, but it's really not a big deal. Okay, so we've got one side of the zipper attached. I'm going to take a quick pause to show you how we're going to add our divider here. So you could do this first, this step first if you want, or you can do it now. It's up to you. So what I'm going to do is I've got my divider. It's lined up right sides together. So I folded this over so it was nice. So it has this nice edge, and I put the fleece so it had some texture, some stability. You could use an interfacing inside there. So this nice edge is going to be facing towards the top of the pouch, around the curve. Then we're just going to pin or clip this in place, and we're just going to attach it so that it kind of becomes part of this second lining piece. We want it to just act like they're buddies, for them to pair up, team up together. So that's what this will look like. And then I'm just going to do a stitch right here just to hold this in place. And you could probably do this before you put your zipper foot on, because that would have been easier than having to change. But I put my 1/4 inch foot back on, and I'm just going to sew along the bottom here. Okay, and that's it for that part. Now it's attached and we're ready to treat it. We'll just treat it as if it's part of the lining. You don't have to worry about it anymore, because so we just did this one, because when we sew the bag together, it will catch these edges and you'll just be left with this little pocket, if you can see. So what I'm going to do actually is, if I can find my pins, which usually are right here, but I can't seem to find them. Here they are. So what I'm going to do, and this is optional, the seam allowance, I actually, if you can see on the back, I cut this fabric a little bit too long. So it's just a 1/4 inch here. I just did a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This I could trim off or fold over or just not worry about, because it's really not a big deal. So I used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then all I'm going to do, this is just a personal preference, you don't have to, but this will keep it nice and flat, is I'm just going to pin this down so that it stays flat on there, if you can see. No problem, Heidi. Okay, so now we're ready to get back to the zipper part. Quick intermission on that. So now we're going to turn this out, and you'll be able to see how this looks now that we've got our zipper in. Just pull the zipper out. There's a little bit of bulk here because I used that fleece in there, but it's the same as every other zipper we've done with the fleece. And so you can see we've got a rounded edge. Okay, and then the next step, if you've been watching and learning your zippers, we know is to top stitch that zipper down to hold it nicely in place. So I'm back to my zipper foot, and I'm back to doing that. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm doing it this way because I'm going to do it this way because I like to have this edge of the foot to go along the zipper as a good guideline to keep everything really straight. So I misspoke. I don't put it along the zipper. I put it along the very edge of the fabric. So that keeps it really, really straight and nice, exactly where I want it. Kind of making sure everything's flat under here as I go. I'm just turning with my hand. My machine kind of turns it naturally for me anyways, but everything's nice and flat. I'm doing great today. Much better than yesterday. Yesterday was a day. But today has been really good so far. Okay, so see, we've top stitched right around that zipper. Right like that. And our back is nice and flat. We're ready to add the other side. I'm just going to trim up some of my threads really quick, just because they can be burdensome and get caught in my machine. So that's that side. Now, same methods apply that we've been doing. We're going to grab the other outside piece. That goes face down. Our zipper goes right side down onto this portion. I like to put my pull in the middle. And we use these edges to line it up. And so now we don't have to find the middle like we did before, because it should be the same middle as this one, right? So it's all lined up. I'm just going to clip it in place. And if you've been watching, I don't use a ton of clips, but for the curve, I like a lot of clips. I just really like it to lie flat, and I don't want it to get crooked and pull, and just, it could be a mess. So that's why I'm using a lot more clips today than I usually do. But if you're new and new to zippers in general, you could use a lot of clips when you're just doing your regular zipper too. So this is what it will look like. We're ready to attach the other side, the other front portion. This is how it will be. We're going to go ahead and use our zipper foot. Same method. Attach that. You can see I like to start on this little fabric tab. Gives me a good place to start, and if anything goes wonky, it doesn't mess up my zipper. And get as close as we can. Now I'm at the zipper. I'm going to move my foot, my pole. I'm sorry, I always say the wrong word. I'm going to lift my foot and move my pole out of the way. So there's that. The next step, same as the other side, we are ready to add the back lining, which, remember, this is the one we've attached our pocket to, which doesn't change anything. It just act like it's the same as any other lining. No stress. We're going to line up the zipper with the top, and I'm going to put my pull in the middle like I like to do. We're going to line up the top with the, so this is the right side of the fabric, goes on the wrong side, so the back side of the zipper. And we're going to pin in place. So a few extra, because that's how I like to do it. So while you're watching, we've got a Facebook Live sewing group, which I will come back in and add the link to. That's a great place to see. I've got some awesome friends who also do live sewing videos who are in there sharing their videos. That's a great place to find some more live tutorials if that's your thing, because it's fun. Yep, Joy, when you're doing the lining, it does get tricky, but if you take it slow, step by step, it really is not that much more difficult. I think people just get turned around and intimidated by the wrong side, the right side, all of that. So I'll share the link to our live Facebook video. If you're watching and you have a friend, I just found this out the other day, and you have a friend who loves to sew, you can invite them to watch this video. Send them an invite, which I would appreciate. You can also turn on notifications so you can find us for the rest of the month, which will be here. This is only day 8. We've still got 22 more days. So cramming the zippers in this month, and it's super fun. So remember, I'm just using the seam I created the first time when I added the front piece. I'm just sewing right over that. So everything will be the same and straight. Okay, cut. Okay. Now, last step before we're ready to assemble the whole thing is, remember, we're going to notch here so that it turns out nicely. I'm just going to add some triangles in. Careful not to cut too far. Another reason I don't like to go all the way through is then there's a ton of triangle pieces of fabric that I have to clean up, which cleaning up, not my strong suit, y'all, not my strong suit. So we've got that all notched and ready to turn out. So we're going to turn it on out, and you can see, let's turn it out all the way, and you'll be able to start to see how it's going to look. It's exciting. This is the exciting part. So here's what it's going to look like when you, hi Karen, when you turn it out. This is what you'll have. It'll look like this. And remember, we're going to do our top stitch so that it lies nice and flat. So I'm going to go over one more time and make sure everything's flat. Make sure this is out of the way. There's no reason it should be in the way, just making sure. And then we'll just go ahead and get started top stitching this down. This side's a little trickier, but just go slowly and make sure you can manipulate your fabric. It's a little bit easier when the zipper is open. I'm using the left side of my zipper foot. It's probably mirrored, but I'm using the left side of my zipper foot to line up at the very top edge of the fabric to keep my line straight. Okay, and now we've got it. We've got it all set to go. So we've got our top stitching done. You can see it's got our nice curve to it, so you can open and close it. That's nice. Now we're ready to get to assembling. So let's trim. I'm going to trim up my tabs here just to get rid of some of the threads and fabric, extra fabric. All right. Now, so I'm going to keep my pins here because I want to make sure that stays flat. So to put it together, it's just exactly the same. I'm going to line up. Well, let's see. Remember, this was extra. So I'm going to line up this with this. I had a little bit of that extra white fabric that I probably should have trimmed off, but it's okay. This will keep it flat. And remember, we're going to mark ourselves a spot. So from here to here, or a little bit bigger. This one maybe do a little bit bigger because it's bulky and the curve, where we're not going to sew. So we're not going to sew here. This is going to be how we turn our piece out. Okay. Then same with the outside lining pieces. Line them up so they're nice and straight. And clip those in place. Okay. And now we need to address, remember the zipper, where the zipper goes. Like I've said before, I like to push it out towards the outside lining. Clip that in place. And yeah, usually I say to do that first, which I should have done, but I was distracted. So we're going to push this out towards the outside lining, this side. This one doesn't want to go as much. It wants to go the other way. No, you don't get to do what you want. I tell you what to do. Am I the only one who talks to my fabric? Probably. Okay, so this is what it'll look like. It's not as flat as our other ones because we've got the curve in here that wants to go somewhere, so it's going to just come out. It doesn't look as nice as our flat pouches, but that's okay, right? And then make sure, the last thing you want to do is just make sure that this little pocket thing that we've created is sticking out here, because we want to make sure and catch that entire edge. So I'm just going to add one more clip onto that side. And same with this side. We want to make sure that it's coming out as much as possible, that you've got it really lined up. So we're definitely going to hit that, if you can see, when we do our 1/4 inch. So you can do a little bit more generous of, you know, a really generous 1/4 inch seam allowance. That'll help you make sure that you catch that pocket. All right, we're ready back for our 1/4 inch foot. Okay, and we're going to start, remember, we're going to start down in this corner, not here, but here where this blue pin is where I'm going to start. You can do some back stitching there to hold that seam tight, but we're going to go back over it anyway, so it's not a huge deal. All right. So we're just going around all 4 sides, except for the spot we left to turn it out. Almost all the way around. I'll drop all these. All right. Okay, we've made it all the way around. Oh, I hope I opened my zipper. You guys didn't remind me. It is, it's open. Okay, so now we're ready to turn it out. Remember, we've got pins, so be careful. Don't poke yourself on the pins when you go to turn it out. I do that all the time, so I'm telling you from experience. We can take them out. When you come to them, go ahead and take them out so you don't poke yourself. Here's our other one. Okay. So now we're going to turn everything out, push our corners out, and you can see we're going to have this little pocket in there. Isn't that fun? And make sure we've caught the entire edge here on both sides, and we have, so that'll hold that in place. Keep pulling out our pouch, poking out the corners. Poke, poke, poke. You can use a tool, pencil, chopstick to turn these out. Give our rounded edges a poke so they come out too. All right, the last step, we're just going to It's a little trickier with this little pocket we created, but no big deal. We're just gonna hold this all under in a straight line. I'm gonna press as hard as I can with my fingers and pin this in place. Clip, pin, you know what I mean, right? Now's your last chance to really get a good turn on those corners before you do it, okay? Just clip these in place. Okay, so this is what we're left with. Now we're ready to give ourselves a stitch here. This would be a lot straighter and nicer. I would recommend you press this because we've got that fleece in there. So press it so it's really straight, a straight line. But really, does it really matter? Because what are we going to do? We're stuffing it inside. And if anyone complains, you know what I say. You grab that right back from them. Tell them to make their own. If I make you something, you don't get to complain about it. That's all there is to it. Same goes with dinner. When I make my kids dinner and they complain before they even eat it, that's, I'm sorry, guess you're not eating dinner tonight. I worked hard on that. Putting it in the microwave for you. Just kidding. Okay, so we've got, remember, we've got our lining. I'm going to just trim up any sort of things that we've got here. Any threads we've got, all our extras. There's always some hangers on. And then we're ready to stuff it inside. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. Stuff in the corners as much as I can. And now you can see inside we've got a little divider so you can have things on either side. It goes either way. Isn't that fun? So here's our finished, and you can see here's where the edges are. That's why we use the tabs. Isn't that a nice smooth edge? We've got some trimming to do. Right like that. Isn't that fun? This would be a super cute makeup bag. I love it. I love it. Okay, so you guys know we're going to be donating our bags. I'm going to donate them to Ronald McDonald House, and I'm going to fill up a few right now. I wanted to show you. So I've been talking about Karina today, and I'm using her fabric today because she also has a like a toy company, and she's donated some really, really fun things for us to stuff our bags with to take to the Ronald McDonald House. So I wanted to show you. See these little coloring books? This one's called Dress Up Days. We've got one called Fantastical Florals. Look at how little tiny, these little tiny cute coloring books are. ABC Jungle. We've got a space one. She's got tons of these on her site. So I in the description I mentioned Minilou. You can see it's right here like this, MINILOU. So she's donated all of these for us to donate to the Ronald McDonald House. You can find her. She has all these available, so you can go purchase them. So I'm just gonna stuff them. I'm not gonna make you watch, but this is the perfect size. These bags are the perfect size to stuff with some crayons and some coloring books. And these are going to be, I think I'm going to add later on, I'm going to maybe make some little stuffed animals to go with the kitties to go in here for a sibling comfort pack that I'm going to take to the Ronald McDonald House, to the room. There's a room in the St. Louis Children's Hospital that they give away nice things for, you know, if your sibling is there, or me even. That's where I took showers a lot of the times and got a hot cup of coffee, was in the Ronald McDonald House room. So I'm excited. I'm going to fill these up with our really awesome coloring books. And remember to get notifications so you can find us tomorrow. I want to hear your suggestions. What do you think? What should we work on? Here was today's. We did the curve. What should we work on tomorrow? Maybe adding a zipper inside. I mean, you could we could do that, or whatever you think. So make sure you can click the link in the description to see the first 7 days and the supplies, and then I'll get the supplies and a link for the new blog post for day 8 through whatever. I'll get that made as soon as we're done here. So let me know what you want, ask your questions, and I thank you for being here, and turn on notifications so you can find us. We will see you later.